What is up, everybody out there on YouTube? We back. We live with another video. So I definitely want to pop on in here, man, because listen, I get a lot of emails, DMs about authority and everything like that. And for the most part, what I've been realizing is it's a lot of information out there. People giving a lot of things, a lot of advice when they haven't really succeeded themselves. You know what I'm saying? And when they don't succeed themselves, they start to, point fingers and start hating on somebody that was able to accomplish something that they wasn't able to accomplish. So I'm about to get to it. And you know how I do, man. I give y'all nothing but the facts, nothing but the real. So what's going on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I hope y'all can hear me because I just gave a whole little intro, little spill, and I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. So what's up? What's up? Rico, Correy, Brandon. Like, let me get a little quick mic check. Let me see if y'all can hear me. I think y'all can hear me because I got a little display over here to let me know if everything is going good. So what's going on? What's going on? Hendrix. Rebirth, what's up, everybody? Shout out to y'all, man. I know videos been slim, but man, let me tell you, man, I be having a lot going on. Like, of course, trucking ain't the only thing that I'm doing right now. Of course, I love trucking. I like getting in my truck because you can get in your truck, you can drive, you can make quick money, easy money, and stuff like that. But I got a lot of stuff that I'm working on behind the scenes and stuff like that that really, really, really time consuming. So. But I'm gonna get better with it, y'all. I'm definitely gonna get better with it. Let me see what's going on real quick. All right. So let me answer some questions real quick before I talk about what I want to talk about. You respect the hustle? I know, man. We gotta hustle. That's the only way we could go. That's the only way we can go up. That's the only way we can improve. That's the only way we can get better. Is hustle, motivate, and learn from our mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Been watching from the beginning. I appreciate that. Brandon, you can't have payments with authority though. What type of payments you talking about? What type of payments are we talking about? Are we talking about truck payments? Sure you can. It depends on how you want to do it. It depends on how strong your grind is. I know people got authority and they got payments on all their trucks. Whether they leasing them or whatever the case may be. So what type of payments you talking about? What type of payments you talking about? All right, so listen. Of course, I'm always on YouTube, right? So I be watching pretty much everything that goes on. And I just want to answer some questions about authority because everybody want to know about authority, how I went from, training with CR England or whatever to getting my own authority within 2 years. And it's just a matter of focus on what you want. Like, is your goal always as soon as you got into business, was your goal to get your truck, get your own truck, start your trucking company, start your own business? Was that your ultimate goal? Or was you just getting into it to make money because you wanted to make money at trucking? Because at the end of the day, I don't care what nobody says, okay? It's what you want to do. You can make good money being a company driver. You can make good money being a lease driver. It depends on your financial situation at the time and what you want to do. If your financial situation at home, you got a girlfriend at home, wife at home who don't work, and you supporting and doing everything, you're out on the road doing all this type of stuff, it's going to be difficult. So people look at authority, and then I'm getting a lot of bad things about, people saying a lot of bad things about, oh yeah, the reason why I didn't start my authority and all that. What it really comes down to, do you really want to take that next step? Because it really ain't that hard, and it's really not no difference between, having authority or running under a carrier's authority. It's really not no difference. The only difference is that you're the boss. You can control everything, and depending on your situation, on how you run, you can make similar money. I get all of that. But the main reason why I choose to run under my own authority is just the all around flat out freedom of it, right? And of course, the tax breaks you get, you can start a business. I'm telling you, you can start a business and run under someone else's authority. You can have your whole trucking company running under Landstar. You can do it. So that's not the situation. That doesn't matter. It just depends on everything you want to do. That's why I like to talk to people. When they call me, I try to figure out what it is you want to do. Like, do you want your own authority, or do you just want to lease on the Landstar? And I use Landstar as the number one because they're kind of the most freedom that you're going to get running your own truck and running under your own, or being able, the closest thing to doing your own thing is Landstar, like hands down. I talk to a lot of people, they run under their homeboy authority, and all this different type stuff, but they have to run so hard to make their payments on their trucks and things like that. But me personally, let's just start off by saying this. How I started. I'm not gonna be long with it, but I'm gonna just run through it real quick on how it happened for me. So just so that, you know, if you're in the same situation, you can get an understanding on like what I did, right? So first off, and I told this story a lot of times too. I told the story a lot of times in some of my other videos on how I got started into trucking. Okay, went to CR England. With my driving permit, and I'm gonna get to the comments, guys. I see you guys, but I want this video is a lot, really, for a lot of the new people that come in, and you know, they trying to do the same thing because they seen some of the videos and they want to know, their goal is what my goal was. So they probably missed some of the past videos on how I went from training to authority. So I'm gonna just go through it real quick, as quick as I can, for the people that email me all the time, DM me all the time. So also too, I tell you guys to email me, right? Because like the DMs don't come right to my phone. The emails come right to my phone, right? You might as well get used to emailing as well, because like a broker, when you got your authority, a broker is not about to DM you the rate confirmation, okay? They're going to email it to you. So like, just get used to it. Just shoot me an email. I'll get right back to you as soon as possible. But for me, I went to CR England with my permit. So whatever state you in, if you're about to start trucking or thinking about trucking, it won't hurt to go ahead and go down to your DMV. I know with COVID and all this stuff, everybody got different protocols and situations, but figure out what it is in your state or your area. Get your driving permit and go to school with that. Go to school with your permit already. It's going to make it a lot easier. It's going to speed up the process. So once I got with my trainer, I rode with him for 9 months, and then I was able to get with a partner and stuff like that. And also the key is you're going to need at least 2 years, okay? Because when you want to start your authority, you're going to need at least 2 years, because they're not going to want to insure you or give you insurance, or it's going to be crazy high. You're not going to be able to afford it starting right out. And maybe you can, but it's going to be ridiculous high. We're talking about $20,000, $30,000. They be giving out big numbers for insurance if you don't have more than 2 years. If you got less than 2 years, then they probably are not going to insure you anyway. So it's already good to like get with a company that you can stand to be with for at least a couple years, to where you can transition into that next step, because you won't be able to go forward anyway until that time has passed. You have to get at least 2 years under your belt before you can move on. So I did a couple things. Now I had 2 separate lease trucks. So I've done it. I company drove, I lease drove. I had 2 lease trucks. Of course, the first lease I tried was as soon as I exited CR England, I jumped into the quality. I was on YouTube. Everybody was talking about the quality trucks, and it was for the most part what they said. I got on a Greyhound bus, went to quality up in Indianapolis. They put me in a truck. No money down, no this, no that. I just had to pick one of the companies that was on the list that they was approved for me to take the truck to. And I chose Western Express because they was the only one who would take me being out of school, only having 9 months, less than a year of driving experience. they was pretty much like the only one that I called that said, yeah, you can have 9 months. So I took the truck there. It lasted all but 1 month. And I was out the door. I couldn't make no money. They was giving me BS loads, and I couldn't afford to pay for the truck because that truck was ridiculous. We talking about $3,000 a week, something crazy like that. But I didn't give up there. You know what I did? I went back company, and that's when I went to Rosedale. Drove company with them, and I drove company with them for a year, and then they gave me a sweet lease deal. The white truck, if you guys remember back in the video, I was leasing that truck from from Rosedale, $50,000. They sold the truck. Well, it was a lease purchase. The truck was $50,000, and they had the payments set up for me to run it for 3 years. And at the end of the lease term, at the end of the 3 years, I will own the truck outright. No balloon payment, no this, no that, right? But I had other plans. Once I crossed over that 2-year mark, I still had like 2 years left on the truck payment. I figured that, hey, I can buy me a truck and I can go ahead and do my own thing, and I won't have to pay the 2 years that I had left on that truck. By the time I get done paying for that truck, I will only have 1 year left on another truck, and I just took a leap. I can already be doing what I want to do. So I decided to leave Rosedale. I purchased the truck, and I started doing port containers with it for 6 months, and then transitioned into authority. That's what I did. So I was able to do all that because in the meantime, while I was on my trainer truck, while I was working at Rosedale, while I was doing all these things, I was making sure that I was putting money aside and making sure I paid my bills, making sure my credit was getting more established so I can be able to do what I wanted to do. That's why I talk about credit cards. I talk about a lot of different things that people send comments about, saying, oh, you don't need credit cards, or you don't need credit, and you don't need this, and you don't need that. That's fine, but it all depends on what you want to do. So I've done it all. I've done the leases. I've been a company driver. I had to go back to being a company driver, but I've been through all the steps it takes to get your authority, right? So when you can ask anybody who emailed me and asked me questions. I give them the 2 companies that gave me the best rate when it comes to insurance. I give them factoring, which I'm dropping a video. If you are brand new to authority, you're going to need factoring because it plays a big part. And right now, when you're starting out brand new, you need cash flow. So guys, I have the information for you. I'm not selling it, okay? If you need it, if I know it, I give it to you. And that's just what I do. So let's see what's going on. So, all right, G Friday, salute, been watching since the beginning. King, what are the companies that hire drivers for your truck? Thinking about getting another one. For my truck, I'm not sure what you mean. I run under my own authority. I am looking into putting a truck on with someone, but that's going to be for containers. So the last company I worked for was Container Port Group, pulling containers. And before that, I was at Rosedale as a company driver and a lease driver with them. So I don't have any additional trucks. Truck payment, car payments, etc. Yeah. Okay. Brandon, I think I understand what you mean. Right. So if you already have a car payment and you already have additional bills and stuff that you need to pay, it can be tough. But depending on how you run, you should be able to afford the lifestyle that you want to live. You should be able to solo as a company driver. I'm not for working for no one else. Like, you can work for someone that got your best interest, because like I know like some guys who got trucks, they got their drivers as their best interest because of course you're the one driving and working the truck. So that can work out super well for you. You know what I'm saying? Super well for you until you go solo. But the insurance costs, I would say, for your authority, if you just new entrant 2 years in the game, my down payment was $4,700, and I was paying $1,600 a month. This is for authority now, so I'm not sure what insurance you're talking about. Now my insurance is a little bit lower. I'm down in the $1,200. I put $3,000 down for my, because I'm not new insured no more too. By the way, guys, it takes 1 year, 6 months. They don't consider you new insured no more. When I renewed my insurance for my authority, I was still considered new insurance. So come June, we're going to see how much that insurance dropped, because it's at $1,200 now. We're going to see how much it drops from $1,200, being that I'm not considered new insured no more. I'll keep you guys updated on that. So in the beginning, but also too, I was able to make enough money. That insurance payment was not a struggle at all. And that's with me having a truck payment. So I'm paying $3,000, close to $3,500 a month for everything. Of course, too, I have a lease trailer. I don't hide nothing. That trailer that I pull is a lease trailer. And I've been wanting to set aside some time to go purchase a trailer, but that's a process too. I gotta stop working or whatever, take some days off. I gotta take that trailer back, and then I gotta go pull up on a trailer dealership, which is no trailers in my area. So that means I have to drive outside of my area to go get one. So that's why at the moment I'm still leasing a trailer, because I'm making money, right? I'm making money with the lease trailer. So I don't feel like really stopping what I'm doing to just go purchase a trailer. Not to mention, I always negotiate my trailer price into every single load. That way I kind of offset that. So the trailer really is for free. Not to mention it's a tax write-off. I write off every single payment of that trailer, every single month of that payment on my taxes. So I'm not worried about the lease trailer, just so you know. You paying insurance, that's the difference. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Can you get health insurance running under a bigger company? Some of them offer health insurance, but, believe it or not, depending on what they're charging you for insurance, if you look into getting your own private insurance, it may be cheaper. Like, you never know. Where I've been, I've been working. Like, I got so much going on, like, with other things and businesses that I'm into, like, which trucking has allowed me to expand into so many other different things. So I've been busy trying to get everything up and running, different income streams of revenue and stuff like that, because I got other plans for a truck too. Like I said, I'm not sure if I told you guys, but another truck is coming, not under my authority, but I live in the port city. So I have a relationship with a company that I used to work with, CPG. I'm planning on putting a truck over there with them and just cashing out weekly check. So that's what I've been up to. All right. If you have bad credit, how does that affect you working under a company leasing a truck? Bad credit, man. A lot of people, when it comes to credit, it's a way to buy a truck. It's a way to buy a truck. If you're persistent, and it's a way to buy a truck, you can save money. I would say $3,000 to $5,000, and somebody will give you a truck. It's all type of lease programs out there too. I like, when it comes to leasing a truck, I like the lease to own programs, because if you can lease a decent truck, and it's no hidden fees with that, right? If someone say, hey, like the one that I had with Rosedale, if someone say, hey, like Rosedale say, the truck is $50,000 for 3 years, walk away too, by the way, because I just walk away from it. I ain't have to put nothing down, and I just gave the truck back. I drove it and I was able to make money. I drove the truck for like a little over a year. I made all my weekly payments. It was like $5 something a week, and that was for the truck, insurance, everything. $5 something a week. I know people got $1,000, $1,500 lease payments, $2,000, like ridiculous. That truck, the white one with Rosedale, was only like $500 or something a week, and everything else was profit, right? So with that, if I would have kept that truck, and these are the type of walkaway leases you need to take a look into, because like when you lease these trucks from these big companies, it's always some type of gimmick. Like, you can have the truck for 3 years, and then they want you to pay $10,000 after all of that to buy the truck, just so they can force you into a new lease. So I know places like Lone Mountain, they take a look at certain things, but your credit don't really play a big factor so long you ain't had no repossessions or child support stuff like that they look at. But other than that, if you got the down payment, they'll let you ride on with a truck for sure. But so it depends. It's not always about your credit being real strong. But what I do recommend is, download Credit Karma, download all these free apps and look and see what's on your credit, because you can start working on that stuff right now, because you're going to need it. If your goal is to start building a business, start working on your credit right now. My credit wasn't always the best either, so it's really no excuse. I didn't give myself an excuse. I just looked at what the problem was and I started to work on that stuff so we can kind of like move forward, right? We like just move forward from all of that and let's work on our credit. But right now, if your credit ain't the best, it is a way to buy a truck, just so you can get started. But get you a walkaway lease to where that if something does go wrong, you can just turn the truck back in. And the only thing that you're losing is your down payment and the money that you paid for it towards the truck. It's not going to harm your credit or anything like that. So if that's the route you have to take, that's taking a leap. I would do it. If I was in a situation that was my option, I would do it. Or you can stay or get with a good company, build everything up, buy you a truck out on your own, and the option's up to you. It's really up to you. You need to understand freight lanes also. Of course. See, I have, my freight lane is out and back. That's what I do. All that, having to run cross country in the snow and all of that, let me tell you, it doesn't take all of that. It don't take all that to even it don't take running your truck 3,500 miles a week to make $1,000 a day. So it don't take it. If you know people that's telling you that, oh yeah, you got to be OTR and all that to make $1,000 a day, they need to understand freight lanes themselves. So is it a reason you should have bad credit as a truck driver? Oh, it's no reason. I mean, some people have bad credit before they got involved with trucking. So, but it's no reason for you to continue to have bad credit. I would agree with that. You should, if your credit's bad right now, it's no reason for you as a truck driver to start working on those things and start establishing yourself so you can put yourself in a better position, especially if you're trying to be a business owner. Like, trucking is just having a truck driving company or having your own authority. That's just in addition to your business model. Like, you can take your business and it can have trucking, it can have warehousing, it can have freight brokering, it can have all these things under one umbrella. So it depends on what you want to build. Having your authority is just a add-on to the company. So that's why I tell people too, if you're a lease driver, it's no reason you shouldn't have a business and have whatever company you're leased onto paying your business name, paying you under your business name. So if you rodeo trucking, and you're leased on the Landstar, Landstar is going to be paying rodeo trucking on the checks. So that way you're building business credit, you're building your business, and also you're establishing everything while you're under the Landstar. That way, if you decide to stay with Landstar, great. But if you decide to move on and do your own authority, then it'll be a smooth transition. And another main reason why you want to do that is, let's say you work for another company right now, okay? Like, see, for example, I pull loads for everybody. I even pull loads for Landstar, XPO, Uber, you name it, Knight, Swift, whoever. Like, but I pull loads for all of them under my authority. But, if you was leased on to someone, right, and you decided to leave. So let's say you was at XPO and then you left XPO and then you went to, then you started working for Landstar and then you left Landstar. See, now you got all of these different 1099s. Right? So now on your forms, you got to put, yep, I used to work at XPO. Yep, I used to work at Landstar. Yep, I used to work at Swift. Yep, I used to work at CRN. You got all these different ones. But if you was leased onto them and they was paying your company name, all you have to say is, I have my own business and I work for Rodeo Trucking, or I'm the owner of Rodeo Trucking. Because all the payments went to Rodeo Trucking, so you don't have to even explain all these different companies you was pulling and working for. So that's why it's important to get your own trucking business name and all that stuff established. So let's see here. Let's get caught up here. Let's see. buy a truck or lease coming from a company driver with $100K saved up. I'll buy a truck. And also too, if you can get a good rate, finance that truck for at least 2 or 3 years. I like the lower end. The payment will be kind of high, but if you got $100,000, the payment will be kind of high, but that truck gonna get paid off sooner. That way you can go ahead and start running that truck, and that truck, some of that payment can start paying for that truck on its own, and you can keep most of your $100,000 capital, because you don't want to take. Or if you want to say, I'm gonna go ahead and take. If you want a $50,000 truck, which I started out with a $50,000 truck, but you don't have to. It's really up to you and what lanes and what freight you're going to be pulling. If you're going to be doing a lot of over-the-road OTR stuff, you want to get you a decent truck because you don't want to give you problems. But I would, $100,000, I'm keeping a lot of my capital, and I'm going to let that truck pay for some of that on its own if you can get a decent interest rate. But if you put down a good down payment, you got decent credit, and you going short term, there's no reason for somebody to give you a real good interest rate, which you can write off that interest on your tax return. You can write off interest. So that's what I would do with that. Hawk G, I'm in Savannah and looking to purchase a truck. Put a driver and lease on to a company. Any recommendations? If you're in Savannah, I tell you what I'm about to do. I'm about to buy a truck and I'm going to send it over to CPG, or you can even do California Cottage. You can do, it's a couple different ones you can do. Email me. I'll give you some of the companies that'll let you just basically send a truck over to them. They probably even put a driver in it for you, and you just get a check every week. They put the plates on it for you. They put the insurance on it for you. They take it out of the settlement. They, depending on what you want your splits to be, they pay the driver, and then you just collect the check every week. So that's the way you can get into trucking without having a CDL. You don't have to have a CDL to start a trucking company too, by the way. If you just want to be an investor, pick up you a couple trucks. If you got good credit, you can pick up a couple trucks and give them to a company and let them run them trucks for you and just pick up a check every week. Or you can start your own trucking company, get your own authority, and do all the paperwork and manual stuff on your own. Or if you just want to invest and pick up a couple checks or pick up a check every week, I say a couple checks because you can put a truck at more than one spot. And then there you go. You collecting checks every week underneath your company name. So that's what I do. CPG, California Cottage, those are two people that I know for sure that you can put a truck on with, and they'll put a driver in it. Or if you know a driver, you can put a driver in it. But they got to pass too. Like if you know a driver that you want to work for you, they got to pass all the DOT stuff before they even hire them on to drive that truck for you, just so you know. But that's how that would work. Haha, out and back. I love it. Yeah, man. Out and back. $1,000 a day. Easy. Like I don't see why I'm running. Because if you think about this like this, right? Let's say I'm in Savannah and I'm about to go to, let's say, California, right? Low pay good, $5,000. Matter of fact, we're gonna give you $7,000 to go to California. Light load too, 10,000 pounds, something crazy, right? Sounds good, but by the time it's gonna take you what? You only can drive 11 hours, right? So it's gonna take you 3 days to get over there. Then you probably unload on the 4th day. Then you gotta drive back home, not to mention fuel costs. Like, it ain't worth it to me. It ain't worth it. Then I'm gone a whole week. Then I gotta drive back home. It'll be 2 weeks before I get back home. So I'm just not interested. I'm just not interested. Out and back. I ride out, I come back. Easy money. All right, how to get direct port rail container loads with authority. Now that is a tricky one, okay? Because you got to have a special insurance for that to get on the port. So it's expensive. That's why I don't do port containers. Like, I don't go into the port. Now I do go into the port sometimes with my dry van because I do have a port ID and I have a TWIC card. So I can go on to the port. Let's say I pick up a load, and that's why a lot of people call me for this too, because I'm probably like one of the. I know I ain't the only one, but I live here, and I have a port ID, Georgia port ID, and I have a TWIC card. So if someone have a load that needs to go into the port, I can go into the port. But to be pulling containers in and out of the port and stuff like that, you have to have a special insurance to go into the port. But they have their own load board too. I'll figure out the name. I had it. Send me an email so I can have your email and I'll get it for you. But they actually the Georgia Port Authority have an actual load board. I forgot the name of that load board because I don't use that one at all. But they have a load board that you can find port loads to get on and out, to get in on and off the port with, or get loads in and out of the port. But what would be the easy thing to do is to pull loads that already came out of the port. Some of these brokers already have the container. Like some of the port drivers already pull the load out of the port and set it on a yard, and then you can go grab it, take the load or box wherever you need to go, and then if you're getting emptied or if you're grabbing it empty and bring it right back to their yard, and then one of the port drivers will take the box back into the port. That way you don't have to worry about the insurance, and you don't have to worry about dealing with going in and out of the port. So that's just another way to do that. All right. Okay, Hawk G. Yeah, just email me, man, and I'll get that information for you. So you have a CDL, still active duty military. Okay. Yeah. So it just all depends on what you want to do, man. That's what this video is really about. Like, it's up to you. The options are unlimited on how you can run your trucking business. You don't even have to have a CDL to run a trucking business if you want to. So it's just so many different facets of how you can do this business. And I really recommend taking advice from someone that's been through the steps versus someone that's trying to give you information and they haven't even succeeded at the things that they're trying to tell you to do. Not to say that I know anything or everything at all, but if I got the answer to something, I'm gonna let you guys know. And that's just why I wanted to come on here. I ain't dropped a video in a while. I definitely ain't did a live stream in a while, so I wanted to come on here and show my face, interact with you guys, and I appreciate all the support. You guys always show so much appreciation for what I do, and I do it for everybody that really appreciate the information. So that's all I really do it for, is to help you guys and, hear back from you guys. And I like the feedback too. When you guys let me know, you followed the things that I said, and you can another thing too, you don't really have to take my word for anything. Don't take my word for it. I challenge you to just apply it. If I told you that I did something that worked for me, you should at least try it and see if it worked for you before you even go on complaining about something that didn't work. So you can at least try to apply it. And, chances are it might work for you. But I want everybody, if you have challenge credit, let's work on that right now. Like, we don't need to have bad credit. Like, no matter what somebody say, oh yeah, let me tell you what somebody said in the comment section. Like, somebody said, having good credit, I'm just able to borrow money good. I'm just able to borrow money good. That's all I can do with having good credit. Oh, you can just borrow money good. Okay. But guys, don't listen to people like that, because that's ignorant as hell. Like, you need to work on your credit. You don't have to have bad credit forever. Like, it's something that you can do right now. You can take a look at your credit. If it's something on there, you might have something that's on there that was $50 that you never knew about. Somebody done, one of these companies that you went to see and they billed you for something, and now they put it on your credit or something crazy like that. You never know. Some people don't even know what's on their credit report. So I suggest you download Credit Karma right now, find out what's on there. A lot of that stuff you can get removed, and the other stuff you need to work on, getting you some accounts open and start building your credit. And that's how you're going to move forward And that's what's going to make everything so much easier when you go to buy your truck. If you buy it cash or not, it's going to make it so much easier for you to establish business credit, because you can leverage your personal credit to get credit funding for your business, buy trailers, equipment, and all this other type of stuff. You can just do whatever you want to. So, as always, guys, I appreciate the support. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. And until next time, see you in the next video.